Before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you guys know that today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. So, SeatGeek, if you don't know what it is, it's a great place to get tickets to sporting events. It's a third-party app, so you can actually save a lot of money on tickets, and not just saving the money by the fact that they're lower prices, but also with the fact that you can enter the promo code JKS and you'll get $20 off of your first purchase. If you've never used SeatGeek before, they'll take $20 off. All you have to do is enter the promo code JKS. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is in the description below. SeatGeek it's a great it's not just an app but also a website. So you can use the app or you can use the website. Pretty simple. And again, if that's something you're interested in, the promo code is JKS and the link is in the description below. So feel free to check that out. And anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. So one of the most dominating performances we saw last week was the Minnesota Vikings really tearing apart the Los Angeles Chargers offense. It was really their defense that really performed so well, the Minnesota Vikings defense. They came away with 7 turnovers, which was the most in over 20 years, which is pretty crazy. And now, just like that, Minnesota, they still have an outside chance at getting a bye week, although that seems a little bit dim, but they're pretty much officially in the playoffs at this point. They're not clinched yet. They still just need one more thing to go their way, but their magic number is 1. They just need the Rams to lose one of their next 2 games or for them to win one of their next 2 games, and they're in just like that. So they're definitely in good shape to clinch a playoff berth. But let's get into really what they did so well against the Chargers and how they were really able to blow out a team that some people were saying is a better team than their record and maybe could cause the Vikings some problems. Really, the key matchup I'm going to want you to take a look at is going to be with J.O. Johnson. He's an interior lineman right here. He's going up one-on-one against the right tackle. And take a look at what's going to happen right when this ball is snapped. It's a little bit tough to tell here, but basically what's going on is that there's good hand placement there for the Chargers offensive lineman. And so this is a tough situation if you are a defensive tackle. Ideally, if your opposing player has good hand placement, sometimes the play could just be over and there's not much you can do. And one thing that actually is going to help him to a degree is Rivers is going to take a little bit longer to actually make this throw, so that's going to give him a little bit more time. But also, watch what he does with his own hands here. If you see Johnson gets his hands out and basically, especially with his right hand, notice how his right hand is just on his opposing man's left wrist right there. There's not really much you can do at this point if you are an offensive lineman. You went from having pretty good hand placement to not having the hand placement that you want and not having hand placement in general. And watch just how strong he is. Johnson's able to push his hands up, and then he's able to run over and get the Rivers for a sack. I mean, that's just good hands and strength right there. That's really difficult to do. Maybe it doesn't look that difficult just watching it like that, but trust me, that is an incredibly difficult thing to pull off. However, he just pulled it off there. Really, the fact of the matter is, they were terrorizing Phillip Rivers in the backfield all day. He was never comfortable. The pressure did a great job of getting there. And honestly, there's no better example than right here. They're going to be paying Danielle Hunter a little bit of extra attention, which of course makes a ton of sense. That guy has been quietly having a tremendous season in Minnesota. So they're going to pay him a little bit of extra attention. He will obviously have the right tackle be blocking him, and they're also going to chip him. So nothing crazy, but they're going to just make sure that they can help out their tackle by having a chip there, so that way they can hopefully just not allow Hunter to beat them. However, that's often easier said than done. Watch how he's basically just going to run straight into the tackle and he's just going to try to bull rush here. Because the reality is, it's going to be tough to go around when there's a chip. So one great way to basically just take away the chip is see if you can bull rush or get to the inside. Of course, the danger of that is you could potentially give up containment a little bit. But with a guy like Rivers, he's not really the fastest guy. You don't have to worry too much about something like that. And so he is going to try to see if he can just avoid the chip altogether, and it's working out pretty well. It's actually working out very well. And not just that, but if you look at Ifeadi Ndegbo, he's doing a great job of what he's going to do is he's going to sort of fake as though he's going to the inside, but he's going to pull off a spin move and get to the outside real quickly of that guard. So they both pull off their moves quickly and are able to get the Rivers. The ball ends up getting knocked out, and then they're able to even get a touchdown out of it. So really a tremendous play by both of those guys. Win your one-on-one matchup and also be aware enough to see what's going on, see the ball was there, and Ndegbo was able to pick it up and run it into the end zone, and Hunter was also able to lead block for him. So really just good teamwork by both of those two guys, good awareness, and good football. And while those two plays were both great, honestly, what I think the Vikings did best was the way they were able to get the ball out. I mean, there was 4 fumbles in that game, and that's really key in the game of football, is to find a way to knock the ball out. And one way was the way they would do something like this, where the way this play is going to work for the Chargers, it's a pretty simple concept. They're going to have a receiver basically get in the way of that linebacker, and then they're going to send their halfback up to the top half of the screen. He can hopefully run over, gain some yards. Won't go for a touchdown, but should go for 4 or 5 yards or so. That's the way this play is supposed to work. And after the ball is snapped, it's working out pretty well. I mean, as you see, the halfback is able to get to the top half of the screen. Not going to gain a ton of yards, but will gain some yards, make it a second down and manageable because it is right now a first down and 20. They need a chunk play here. They need to get 5 or 6 or so. So that's what they're going for. But watch what Trey Waynes is going to do here. He's the guy who's ready to make a tackle, but he's not going to just simply wrap up or try to push his assigned man out of bounds. I mean, you could do that, but at the end of the day, what's more important than a tackle? If you can get the ball out, then nothing else matters. A turnover, it means so much more than just making a standard play, so he's going to kind of see if he can maybe knock the ball out. Watch how he just lowers his shoulder perfectly to ball level, delivers a hit, and the ball does get knocked out. Now, granted, that one actually was not one of the 7 turnovers. Keenan Allen did a pretty good job of rushing over and making sure the ball got knocked out, which, okay, good play by Allen, but also good play by Waynes there to just realize what was going on and not just go for the tackle, but also get the ball out. That's what they were really doing all game long. Like, this one's another really good example, actually. First things first, this is going to be a really good play call by the Chargers. I actually love this play call, and it worked out pretty well, actually. They're going to fake as though it's going to be a jet sweep, but it's not going to be a jet sweep. Actually, the receiver who's going to get the ball is going to fake as though he's going towards the bottom half of the screen, but then he's going to cut in like that. He's basically going to run straight up the middle, but usually when a receiver takes a handoff, they run to the outside because they already have a running start in that direction. And I mean, as you see, the 2 Minnesota defenders are understandably so running down to the bottom half of the screen to try to make a play, but this is what the Chargers want, actually. This is the situation that they're trying to create here, and it's working out brilliantly up until this point. Because right when he cuts in, if you look, Samar Stephen, he has a chance to potentially make this tackle, but he doesn't have a great chance. He's probably just going to be able to get his arms on him, so it's going to take a lot of strength to make this tackle, and this is kind of the situation that the Chargers want here. However, again, watch how he just looks for the ball. He just yanks the ball out, and they're able to get a fumble recovery. It's Hunter now, he's now the guy who ends up picking up the ball, and once again, they're able to get a turnover. And those plays like that turn what could be a good play for the Chargers, a solid 5-yard run or so, into a great play for the Vikings. It's such a huge swing to get a turnover, and the fact that they were able to get so many against the Chargers was the main reason they were able to blow them out. One last play, that's another example of what I'm talking about, is this one where it's a cover 2 zone, and the Chargers have Hunter Henry running that route right there. It'll get sort of towards the middle of the field, and actually Eric Kendricks' zone. It's a good route, and Hunter Henry is one of the best route-running tight ends in the business, so this is a route that the Chargers like, and it's one they're going to throw this ball to. And you'll see right when the ball is snapped, Hunter Henry showing why he's one of the best route-running tight ends in the business. He's open. He gains some separation. Rivers is making the throw in that direction. This is a good play by the Chargers up until this point. But watch how Eric Kendricks isn't going to quit on this play. He's able to reach in, get his hand in there, and knock the ball out, which results in yet another fumble. Just a good job of not quitting right there. Eric Kendricks is actually a very underrated player. He's quietly been having a very good season for Minnesota. I feel like a lot of their guys are very underrated for some reason. Not really sure why, because they have a pretty big market, but people just don't talk about their defense too much for some reason. But either way, Eric Kendricks makes a great play on that one. And that just goes to show why you should never quit. Because sometimes you get beat and then you say, okay, I gotta just make the tackle. But he didn't. He never quit. He still tried to maximize his potential output of that play. Try to see how good of a play can you have even if you give up the catch. He gave up the catch, but then was able to make a huge play. And everyone will always give up a 5-yard catch if it results in a fumble afterwards. So turning a bad play into a good play. And that's what the Vikings did. No matter how good or bad a play the Chargers made, they always seem to find a way to make it a good play by getting turnovers. Well, yes, an element of football is luck, and especially when it comes to turnovers, you're not always going to get that many opportunities to knock the ball out. Some guys will be better at not allowing that to happen, but at the end of the day, as long as you put yourself in a situation where turnovers can happen, they will happen to some degree. Probably not 7 times a game anytime soon, but they will continue to happen. I really do like this Vikings team. I feel like there's something special about this team. I don't know what it is. It's kind of tough because it seems unlikely that they will be able to get a bye week. A lot would have to go right. So that then means that they're almost definitely going to have to win 3 games in a row on the road, maybe. So that's going to be really tough. So who knows how far they can go, but they're almost in the playoffs already. And there's one thing for sure. There are teams I would not want to have to go up against if I'm in the postseason.